Hey, everybody. Well, that sounded weird. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It didn't sound weird earlier before that, but hey, everybody. This is our last Monday night episode. And we have some very special guests and some on the way. They're probably going to be here a little bit later. Can you guys introduce yourselves and tell what you're known as and where you guys are from?
Sure. I'm Nathan Withers. I am a self-taught filmmaker from the Texas Panhandle. I'm also the host of the Paraflixx series called My Paranormal Experience. And that's it for me.
And
my name's Beth Huffman. I've been investigating since probably 2000, and just been on a couple one paranormal team before what we're doing now. I'm the co-host of the My Paranormal Experience. I like to help Kara on researching the historical part, and but she's really good at that. That's her niche. So that's about it for me too.
good turn, Kara.
We're just introducing, I'm guessing.
Yeah, just introduce
Sorry, I missed
yourself.
it.
Or if you have anything special about yourself you want to share.
I'm special in a different way. But I mostly just carry the camera around and get freaked out. That's all I do.
Carry the camera around and get freaked out. Well,
Yeah.
That's a good job. That sounds fun. That sounds like the funnest part of it, probably.
I love it.
So we've been talking a little bit before the show, and I didn't actually get to watch the show before, but we were kind of wanting to talk about like their first episode, or the 2-part episode you said, and kind of how it builds up, and what got you guys like on, into actually filmmaking or onto Paraflixx, and if you want to talk about that, Nathan.
Sure. Well, Paraflixx have been following us for a little while, and unfortunately, one of the documentary, The Gateway Between Worlds, was a finished product, and our viewers were was wanting to see it, and so we made a decision to go to Paraflixx. But I kind of want to just start. I kind of want to backtrack before the documentary was a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
The woman's name is Vanessa Milligan. It's her story. It's probably the most insane story I've ever heard from any investigation we've ever done. And to this very day, talking about it's reliving it all over again.
Yeah. Very emotional, probably, for her, I bet.
Well, oh gosh, it took a lot for her to interview about it. She's very much, like a trusting person. She has to know you to tell you those things.
Yeah.
Very biblical. Everything is very biblical with her. Basically what she had done was she told me that there was a spiritual gateway in town that holds a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you approach it, you will experience something. And she told me this is the first day I had ever met her. So me being skeptical, she knew that I was going to go and approach this gate and do what I do. And but she said, mark my words, when you approach it, you're going to be greeted. That's the only thing she told me. So that Sunday afternoon, I went with just a camera and a microphone and a spirit box. And I am not kidding. When I approached it, I was greeted at that gate. And there was a lot of other things that I captured in that 5-minute period that really just, it sparked interest in just that little spot. And then shortly after that, my wife shows me a Facebook post that Kara had made. I don't exactly remember what it said, but I was like, I need to bring her on. Like that's cool. Like I want her on the team. So that was Kara's first time meeting me was on the set for that documentary.
That's cool.
And when I showed her the evidence of it, she was even like, wow, like this is weird, like this is a little bit kind of interesting, kind of a little shocking. And when she went to the location, she had her own experiences there.
Mm-hmm.
And and after that, we conducted another daytime investigation and captured a very intelligent, mind blowing response, which I'm not going to give that away because it'll blow the whole film off. But shortly after that, that's when we got the rest of the crew involved. We started shooting for the documentary, and we just let the location talk to us. We let the location tell its own story. And that's how we approach every investigation, everything we do. And shortly, and as these investigations took place, the responses, the evidence that we captured became more intelligent. It was no longer a residual situation. It was, everything was just so powerful, and it made sense. And Kara was able to dig up some information on the history that even connected to what we were experiencing. It was just insane.
That's
But
exciting.
it was yeah. And after that film aired on Paraflixx, we started getting a lot of people, a lot of amazing feedback from people all over the country. Like, hey, like you need to, like, this was a good film. I liked it. It was extremely interesting. This is a real story, like legitimate investigation. Everything about it is just on point. And like I would like to see, I would be willing to see another like another feature on this. Because at first, we initially planned to not even make another feature. Like we were gonna go investigate, but we didn't plan to like make an episode out of it. But I was like, you know what? Let's do it. But this time let's approach it at a more raw aspect. Let's just pull up and just start investigating and just see what happens. And that's where the gatekeeper comes in. And I think Beth and Kara need to take control from here because that was very much their experience there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kara, because I'll let you tell. Because she was doing. We had kind of decided at the beginning of the investigation that we would all each do our own session, and we pick our own part of the area we were going to do it in, and we just took one person with us with the camera, and the other person did the session by themselves. The person with the camera kept their mouth shut and allowed their person doing the session to do their session. And this was Kara's turn, and I followed her with the camera, but I'll let her tell the rest of it.
Yeah, girl.
Well, so it was, that was probably one of the most, like, the craziest moment. Like, I've never experienced anything like it. I don't know. Basically, Beth had pointed out a room in the very back of this place. We had been in there how many times? Like
About
5, 6 times?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, a lot.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I never saw this room, and it was my first time in there. So whenever we were like, hey, let's choose these, pick a room, I was like, I want to go back there. I'd never even been there. So the first part of my conversation was kind of, like any other, just talking to see what responses I would get. But after a few minutes, the responses started like really picking up and getting really informative. Probably the most informative responses I've ever had come through. I almost felt like this was stuff we're not supposed to know kind of thing. And I was pushing the boundaries, like poking at it. Like, what can we know about the other side? And, at one point, it's kind of like this voice I was talking to became super aware of itself. And it was like, wait a minute, what happened to me? Like, kind of like, am I dead? And then a voice had come through that was like, in the moment, I knew exactly what it said, but I don't know if that makes sense. It was a warning. It was like, you've said enough, you've asked enough questions. And at that moment, the voice I was talking to said, oh shit, you need to get out.
Oh my gosh, that's a full
So
sentence.
I relayed
Literally
that
said,
message to Beth. I swung on Beth and I was like, we need to go. Like usually I'd be like, oh, do you want me to leave? But it wasn't like that. It was like you need to go right now. And
Yeah.
there was no mincing words. Beth, I saw it in her eyes too. We were both out the door like, say no more. We're
It
out of
was
here.
crazy because yeah, it was like that. Like the one that said, "Oh shit," was like something came into the room that wasn't safe for us. It was like a warning, like oh crap,
Like they
y'all,
were shocked or something. It was a response of like shock or
that
something.
or like scared or something.
And
They
yes,
yeah.
every response stopped. We couldn't get another response after that. So that's where we kind of
Huh.
thought like, well, of course, like we've been over here talking about this gate and investigating this gate, kind of like it's a little train station, it's pretty cool, a lot of things coming in and out, but we never really put it together that I didn't even know that Vanessa had already said something about a gatekeeper. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it felt like. It felt like somebody was like interfering with that interaction, kind of like, okay, I allow what's said here. I allow who comes and who goes. And that was a part of that conversation that we had with the spirit, who allows you to come and go through here. And they shut us down.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That is crazy. That's very intelligent. It seems like to me.
no, like y'all really need to just watch the full story because it is
I'm
mind
making a
boggling.
banner for the bottom here. And he's going to send me a link to actually go directly to this when you go into Paraflixx and Paranormal Plus, and I'm going to post it in the comments when he does. So if anyone wants to watch that,
the link I'm going to send you, it will direct you directly to the sign up for Paraflixx.
okay.
That's what it's for. And then once you sign up, then you can go find our film.
Yeah,
But
and we want to do that now because it sounds very interesting.
that's how it starts.
Huh? Yeah, that's how it starts. And we don't want to give it all away, but like, how did you guys form your team? Like, how did you guys click together and know that you kind of were like the people to actually be filming together, to be spending all this time together? Because when you go out in the field, you get cranky, you get sweaty, you get nasty, and you're dealing with stuff you got to get affected by sometimes.
Well, we're very much a family, but that's for sure. Beth and myself have been investigating on the same team for well over 12 years. It might be more. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I haven't kept number, honestly.
Yeah.
But like I said, before this show, we were doing another series called Buried Secrets Paranormal. We were part of a team called that.
Sounds cool too. Buried Secrets. That sounds pretty cool.
And that was when we were part of Vidi Space at the time. That's where we started. And a couple of years go by, and I just get this insane vision. Like, I want to make a storytelling series, and I want to add investigation into it. I just something told me if I did not make this series, I was going to regret it for the rest of my life, and I couldn't shake that feeling. But I kept just putting it to the side, and I tried to put the other team first. And like I said, that was our start. And one day, I told my wife about it, and she says, "You need to do it." So before I went for it, I was like, before I can put anyone else out there, I need to put myself out there first. Like, make a sample video, tell a personal experience, and just throw it on social media and see what the feedback will be. So that's what I did. And the thing was, I didn't have any B-roll. I had no storytelling clips other than sound effects to kind of activate the theater of the mind, the imagination. And this was like a 10-minute video. And it was about my grandmother. And it was the first time I'd ever publicly released that. And I was like, man, you know what? If I'm gonna be showcasing people, I need to put something of mine on the line here.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. And I was terrified to release it, but I did. And believe it or not, it inspired people. It awoke something in people that started like going, hey, I got a story. I want to share my experience. people from all over the entire country was like, I want to share. I want to film this. I want to blah, blah, blah. And, once I got the feedback, some buddies of mine called me and said, dude, like, do you realize like what you just did is what's missing in this field?
Yeah.
Like the realism of what you just put out there is not in television anymore. And like, you could bring that back. And I said, okay, cool, whatever. And so about that time was when Beth was like, I want in. So I was like, all right. I said, like, but you need to learn production. Like, that's the main thing. I was like, whoever I bring on this team or on this series, like, they need to know the basics of production. That's just what they need to know. And so I brought her on, and shortly after that, Scotty had been begging me for years to be a part of something, just to be involved in the show. And so I brought him on as a camera guy at first. Like, he needed to learn cameras. So I brought him on. And, we all kind of created our own little episodes. And I think it started off as like a 15-minute mini series, and it aired on VidiSpace for a little while, and it's hard to explain. But what ended up happening was, we were getting stories from all over the country. And we had one opportunity in Iowa to go to. And one of the most haunted locations in the entire country, Malvern Manor. The guy's name's Josh Hurd. He owns it. Mm-hmm. And he invited our team, our series, to go film out there. And I said, yeah, let's do it, So we took a weekend, went out there, made an episode. And so that's kind of how the series started. It started off as something very small, but as we grew in our production together, and the do's and the don'ts or whatever, that's kind of the team has made it what it is, and the vision became not just mine, it became Beth's, then it became Scotty's, and now it's becoming Kara's and all of ours. So without the team, it's really nothing, to be honest with you. I mean, but that's kind of how it all started.
It would get really exhausting for one person to do all that. I don't know if it would turn out as good. No, you got to have some backup.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, I was telling him, Jason, that we have a camera, but it wasn't working on the last investigation. He was showing me the camera. Will you show it to Jason, the first camera you used before the big rig, but the small one?
Oh, yeah. Well, this isn't the exact, but this is kind of like when I first started out, like that's what I was using.
Yeah. Now show him the one that you use now.
Karen's got to carry it around.
Right.
Yeah, Kara gets to carry that all the time.
I'm going to be in the best shape.
Yeah, no kidding. You'll be like having some Wonder Woman arms, shoulders. Everybody, if anyone has any questions in the comments, feel free to ask questions about anything paranormal that these guys might have experienced before this. Like, did you guys have any really scary? Who had the scariest experience like at this whole entire filming process of this place?
Since we started this, I don't know. Guess me and Kara.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know I'm the one cussing and screaming a lot, so
yeah.
That's a good flag, I guess. Like,
I don't know. I mean, I have something. It's not necessarily scary, but it's freaky. So, I mean, and it was when Scotty and Nathan and I had gone to a school to invest. Yeah, it was the old school in Skellytown. And we had been in the locker room doing some investigating. Nathan was getting some really cool stuff happening to him. We're really, like most people probably don't like to count orbs for anything. If we get them in pictures or video, we usually rule most of the majority of those out. At least probably 95% of them are ruled out. But in this moment, I was videoing Nathan, and this orb just comes in from what would be the direction of the gymnasium, and it follows in and it goes directly into his body.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it's just crazy. And shortly after that, we started hearing what it sounded like sneakers screeching on the gymnasium floor. And so this is where it gets freaky. We walked out into the gymnasium and just barely into there. And it's the ones that were at the bleachers are all on the sides of the gym. And then there's windows behind it. Well, we walked up next to that and we were just standing there because we were, trying to be quiet and see what we could hear or what would happen. But we were rolling our cameras the whole time. And I think Scotty captured the shadow that was at the end of the bleachers. And you can literally see it looked like the head and maybe the shoulder area. And it peeks out. It just peeked out and then it goes back like it's trying to hide from us, and then it comes out again like that. Like it's like, are they there?
It's so weird how they do that.
Yeah.
And almost every piece of footage, like I'd say 75%, I think, that I've seen, they're like peeking and hiding, like they're scoping you out like a sniper, but they don't want you to see them and they want to hide. Like they're just being nosy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone asked to mention the dark shadow at the bridge in Les Fleurs, Texas. He's from Texas also, Adam is.
Oh, cool. You want Nathan? Who do you want? The dark shadow we were talking about in Les Fleurs? I don't know.
Either one. Was that the same location?
Yeah, it probably was. We were talking about a number of years ago when Nathan and I were with the first team we were on together, and we had gone out there. I don't know if Nathan was there that night or not. I can't remember, but
I was there. I just wasn't where you were at.
Okay, that's right. Okay, but we were down on this bridge, and it was just shrubbery, trees and mesquite. We don't really have trees around here. Bushes out there, and this area, we're actually working on a documentary, our crew, about this place right now. But it was the scene of Comanche Indians were taken into custody in this area. I think it was like over 200 teepees were in this area when they found them, and they captured them, and then they got away in the middle of the night. But in this area is about where it happened, where all this was. And me and another girl were just, kind of just watching out there. It was dark outside, but we could see all of a sudden a dark shadow walks out of the trees, out of the mesquite trees. And it just walks out, and you can just see it just moving all around that tree line. I mean, we watched it for a good 20 minutes. Just hovering around that tree line, and it was in the shape of a man. I mean, it was man size. We could kind of make out the shoulders and the head, and then the rest of the form was kind of dark. We couldn't tell the legs and stuff, but you could see, the shoulders and everything. But it was going back and forth in those tree lines, and I don't know if it was trying to figure out, are they looking at me, or if it was something residual that was just walking around out there. We don't know, but.
Or if it was male, maybe it was trying to establish its male dominance.
Maybe so.
Because there was another male there, or two other males there, and it was like, who's in my teepee, camp? Who's in my camp?
Right.
Wayne is from the UK, and he does a show on our network too, and he also streams on Skeleton Key. And he was asking if you guys could go to the UK. Is there any locations that you know of that you would want to film over there?
Just give us a location, you can get us in, and we're there.
He probably could get you a location and get you in him. And then we have another one from Ireland that's on here. Her name's Jenny. And if you guys ever want to hook up in Ireland, she has a lot of locations she can hook you up with. And then we have a Scottish friend. Her name is Lois, and she lives in Scotland.
That's where I'd want to go. Me.
I have family in Elgin. Let's go to Scotland.
Yeah, they could probably get you some awesome castles in different places. There's a pyramid. It looks like a Egyptian pyramid, and it's actually a replica in Ireland that Jenny saw this last weekend. It was pretty cool looking.
That's crazy. Yeah, like my family's traced back to I can't remember the town, but it's Turnbull clan in Scotland. Our castle's supposedly there, and the closer family members are running it. So I've always had a dream to go there because I love Scottish history since it's.
Me too. We have a clan, the Calhoun clan. And there's
cool.
a castle called Loch Lomond that's supposed to be like a golf course, I think, but there's a castle there. And I've always wanted to go there. It's like my family.
Yes.
I don't know what you call it, like your family clan, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, have you guys been back to this gate area since the documentary?
We actually, since the Gateway Between Worlds film aired, we did go back to make the Gatekeeper episode, and that's where Kara and Beth's experience took place. But since that's happened, we've actually decided to take a big break from it. We decided it was time to close out the story. Vanessa Milligan did go back with us to film to kind of close out her chapter. And that's kind of what the whole thing was about, was just to kind of close out that entire story. But thing is, since the film has aired, there have been some law enforcement that has gone there to do some, I guess, some stops, some reports or whatever, and they've had experiences there.
Yeah.
But us going back, if we do, it'll be a while, I imagine.
Yeah. I bet you something will draw you back to that location though, because I feel like if you connect really well with somewhere, you got to go back there for some reason.
It's a phenomenal place. It really is.
Hello, Siobhan. Say it. Shoban? Shoban? Is that how you say it? Shoban? Shaban?
Me.
Here he is. He said, if you come here, this is the Wayne from the UK. If you come here just for the history, I would say the city of York and Whitby Bay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's good to though, if you do ever want to go abroad, to find a connection that can show you around, because it's easier to get around when you get there if you have a chauffeur or somebody that's going to help you.
Right.
So, Jason, do you have some questions? Go ahead.
I was just going to ask in the documentary. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to check it out. But do you guys reveal the actual location of where it's at? I mean, because kind of what you're saying, like people will be going there after the documentary's aired.
When the film aired, there was people that went there weekly, just to take a picture there and try to have an experience.
It was mostly locals, so they just knew it was there. I mean, they, when they saw that this gate is crazy, it's in between two buildings, and it's limestone, made out of limestone. And so the people that live in Pampa, they know the gate. So I mean, it's it's in the film a lot. So
it's got a structure. It's like this, and it does this weird type of a thing here. It's weird.
Huh.
Okay.
Sounds like a gypsy container.
It's a very structure.
I was just curious because I know some of the places that we've gone, we don't reveal for those reasons like that, where people would just be going there all the time, or maybe even destroy it in some way, or something like that. So
we've ran into a situation like that in the past with that location. But when it comes to revealing, depending on what we're doing, it just depends. It's hard to explain. I get what you're saying.
But
some of our locations that we've investigated, we're very protective over them, because we don't want those people to vandalize or do anything that they're not supposed to be doing,
or go and start doing conjuring every single day.
Building those relationships with those location owners it's a big thing. And once you have that trust, you don't want to lose that trust, because they're the reason you're getting into those locations to film your show and to do all the fun things you want to do.
I saw that too. They went to Haunted Hill House, Jason.
Yes.
How do you guys like that? Did y'all have any exciting stuff happen there?
I mean, it was
a bit.
It was a learning experience over there too. We had to learn about the history and a lot of the hauntings that were associated with it. It was a really cool experience over there. When we walked in, it was awesome. I loved the lighting that was in there. I loved all the haunted,
the red light bulbs.
Yeah, I loved all that. Was awful. I loved all the scenery of it. It was really cool.
That's where we actually met Natalie from an investigation that was there with Brian and Rochelle from Ghost Hunters, and she was hosting it, and we met her there.
Yeah, nice.
Hey, there's another question. There's George. Do you think you might hit Nevada State Prison?
Yes, George. We would like to go there.
We got to.
They're make it happen, George. No.
Thing is, though, when it comes to us going places, we just have to be able to afford it. Like that's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be able to afford it because unlike other like all the bigger productions that have like sponsors or whatever, like we don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
So it's very much about what can we afford to do.
He said, "Hit me up seriously if y'all want to go there."
Will do, man. Absolutely, love
Yeah.
to.
I just want to investigate with George and Kara.
They have a lot of different locations that they've been going to more since like in the last year. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they were just at Mineral Wells investigating the Fort Walter.
Yeah. Yep. The 23rd, the 23rd and 24th, I think.
Yeah.
Any location you are hesitant to return to? No, honestly.
I was hesitant to the Dalhart Elementary School, but I wanted to go. I mean, it was nervous, like after an experience that I had with the when we were with Buried Secrets. The first time we went back with My Paranormal Experience, I was hesitant, but I wanted to go. I mean, I had a real creepy experience there, so I was kind of nervous about going back, but I did it because I like to confront my fears as far as investigating goes. So
yeah, but no, as far as like a location goes, I don't think I've been to a location that we've been hesitant to go to or return back to.
Mm-mm.
No.
Really.
Yeah, I think Jordan and Kara are fun, and they just kind of do their own thing. They don't like get caught up in all the stuff that goes on. Sometimes it's like that keeps us from doing this for fun. They just do their own thing and they just have fun with it.
Hey, and sometimes that works for people. Like there's times that we'll be investigating, and all of a sudden we just either Scotty or Beth or hell Kara even will just spurt out the most ridiculous damn thing in the world and turn the entire investigation.
No.
Okay, so she's admitting it. And
No, I said no.
Completely around. It'll be completely scary. Like the entire situation is like disturbing, and then you'll hear someone fart or
that's you.
No, that's you, bro. Do something ridiculous. And we'll go.
And you're like, we've got to stop recording.
Her breath go, oh yeah, or say some stupid bullshit like that, and then it's just like
ghost fart. It was a ghost fart.
Yeah. Or I'll say, Beth, grab that camera. Okay. And then she, yeah.
What the heck has happened? Now you're making fun of everything.
I didn't make fun of
He just had an urge to start talking about bodily functions. Cost of travel and investigation costs a lot for people, yeah. And that's like one of our things. Like we've been trying to get people to pick us up to sponsor us and stuff so that we can travel to more places because we do like to actually get deeply into investigating. We're really serious about it, and we want to collect evidence, and we want to go places and help people out. But it does get costly the more that you travel, especially out of state.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, but we understand that part of it.
Yep.
Oh, here's another big one. Ghost gas. Yeah. Thank you. We stay out of drama and fun is what we do. Seriously, I would love to set it up in Nevada State Prison. There you go. There's another place to go.
Heck yeah.
And investigate with you all. Keep rocking, all of you. Thank you, George. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
People helping each other out, okay? Because it's not cheap. Help each other out. And it's not easy all the time. Help each other out, man.
No, this is the thing. Like, we do want to investigate other locations, but for My Paranormal Experience, there has to be a storyline involved. Whoever we're investigating for, there needs to be a story with an experience behind it, because that's where we come in to investigate that claim and to kind of help tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not just going to investigate a haunting. Like we're wanting to tell someone's story. More importantly. Because like for instance, like you'll see like all the other Paranormal Witness or whatever. You'll have all these different storytelling series out there that are mostly like acting or reenactment based type of shows, which is it's great. We have some reenactments in our shows too, but we like to try to keep it with as they're telling their story, we're investigating their story. We're trying to investigate the claim that they've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to either debunk it, prove it, or say, hey, there's something going on, but we don't know what it is yet.
Mm-hmm.
But there is something like he or she is not lying. Like this is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of our goal. Is telling the story.
Yeah. Well, that's also like a diamond in the rough because not sounding negative in any kind of way, but we get so many I hear about and I experience, and then I hear other people's experience about so many things that they go there and like nothing happens. And it doesn't mean like that night that they weren't just being quiet and ignoring who was there, but like sometimes you just have to pick and you finally get that diamond in the rough, that little diamond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Of a thing and a place and a piece of evidence, you get that little diamond.
I mean, that's like whenever we started going to where we filmed the Gateway Between Worlds. I mean, the first couple of times we went there, honestly, not really much happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at all for the first couple of times we went there. Yeah, the creep factor was there, and we were getting some responses with the spirit box and stuff like that, but nothing major ever happened necessarily. First couple of times we went there, but man, that last time we went there, they turned it up. I guess they got to know us. They're like, oh, we know you. Let's scare the crap out of you.
Yeah, or you were like, I'm going here and I'm welcoming them to welcome me, and then just the intention just happened. I don't know.
Yep.
I feel like that happens too sometimes. We went somewhere, and when we were on our way there, I said, I pick up this, this, and this, and I feel like they can see us coming. And then we get there, and we're going through the tour with the girl that owned the location, and they sure enough said this was like a little girl spirit and like a man's spirit that was kind of like had a mental issue, and they had put him in like a padded room with bars and stuff. And like it's just neat. Like that didn't happen for a long time. It just happened after so far, like doing it for so long, I guess.
Right.
Well, this is a big one.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I have a haunted experience. Never looked into it more, but whoever it was very upset that we were remodeling a 100%. Told me to knock it off. And then I had a dream about this guy who was black with very pink lips, wearing clothes from the 20s in the window of my room, almost like he was looking at the home to buy it. The dream was almost like a bump or a jump back in time. Now, when I try to visit that area, I cannot find that house. My most wild experience.
That is crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, like when you start opening up people to the idea of being able to feel comfortable telling their stories like that, it's you're going to get things from all kinds of different types of people, all kinds of different types of situations, and it's pretty cool that people feel comfortable enough to talk about it, or they think somebody's finally going to listen to them, or or whatever it may be. But I'm sure, like with shows like that, and like what you're doing is you're gathering those stories that people just want to be heard and not think they're crazy.
See, that's what the show's all about. It's yeah, we're investigating. We're getting freaked out. You're seeing all the bells and whistles that are put into the show, but at the same time, you're seeing a very real situation, a very real story that these people go through. Whether or not other people believe it, they still went through it, and they still believe it in their mind that it happened.
Yeah.
And our main mission is to just make sure that story's told.
Yeah, we've had so many people start out, like we'll start out, just talking to them right before you do like the interview or whatever. And they'll tell us like, for a long time, I've thought I was crazy and I couldn't tell anybody else my story or what was going on in my home or with me because I didn't want people to think I'm crazy. And some people get really like emotional, but we've had people tear up. Just finally, it's like they've been holding their breath and holding it in forever because they're scared to tell anybody, and finally they're getting to tell their story, and it's like, they just finally get to let it go. And emotions have gotten pretty ramped up when people tell us their stories.
Yeah, really has.
That's good validation for them, though, to know that they're not crazy when you find validation.
Yeah. But I'll be the first to tell you, what we do is, we take this very seriously. At least I do, anyway. I take the show very seriously. I take everything we do with passion, dedication, and just the willing to learn about new hauntings, new theories, new approaches. What can not only help us better our series, but also better help us help the haunting and bring the person's story to rest.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's kind of like what our goal is, and just with our episodes we currently have, the documentary, the first film had really opened up a new door for our show, for our team. Like it really helped us kind of have a different perspective of the afterlife. Because I can't stress enough when y'all watch this documentary, man.
We'll have to hit you back up afterwards.
It's like I've never heard responses like this before.
Yeah.
I don't think Kara has either. Like in the history that she was able to dig up from all this is even more chilling.
Yeah.
So
Well, don't tell everybody. We don't
oh
want
no,
them to know.
I'm just saying.
You have to go watch it, guys. Go watch it.
Not
It's on the
telling you,
bottom on the banner. Yeah, but I actually want to watch it even better. Someone had to throw in there a Zach Baggins comment. We were talking about that. It's hard to find genuine shows these days. I really like, for example, the Ghost Adventures, but nowadays it feels really scripted and predictable. So I'm looking forward to checking yours out. Awesome.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest. I mean, our production is professional. It's like a Ghost Adventures production. I'm going to be real about that. It is. The quality's there. Our show, completely raw. Like it's raw emotion, raw investigation. Like our reenactments are there, sure. But like when it comes to our investigation and how we approach our stories and everything, it's 100% real. Like we're not here to fake anything. We don't fabricate evidence. We don't fabricate evidence. We don't do stuff like that. So I mean, I hope you guys will enjoy it. That's all I can tell you. We love feedback, so
I think we will.
Yeah, Nathan really tries to like he'll be talking about while he's editing, our episodes that sometimes we'll get stuff that is weird and interesting, that we weren't able to explain, but we're still not ready to say it was paranormal. So usually, like if we come across something like that, he's really good about, hey, we're just gonna we're not gonna say it's paranormal or anything. We'll let the viewer decide for themselves. And so,
oh yeah,
we're really big.
That's the key to like the interaction, I guess you can get.
Yeah,
from the people watching and stuff, and the people that watch.
So, Andrea asked, "Where do I go watch?" You can get Paraflixx on the App Store, Google Play, Fire TV, Roku, and I think Apple TV. But for some reason, Apple TV's been really weird. It's like not pulling it up. But for sure, you can get it on Apple, on the App Store, Google Play, Roku, and Fire TV. And you can do a 3-day free trial.
So you can just watch it in that 3 days, really?
And you really can. Like you get 3 free days to.
If you binge watch all of ours, and then you can watch the Twisted Realm after that, and Ghost Finders after that.
Yeah.
The Twisted Realm after that.
Or you can watch theirs first.
Like,
okay,
they're
watch
awesome.
Twisted Realm first.
No, they're awesome people.
They are. We love them.
Yeah,
I feel like I've heard of them, or I know who they are.
Do what?
I feel like I know who they are.
Probably do.
Brandon Johnson and Lyle Lotz, Tana Lotz, and Melissa Skies, or I can't remember her last name is.
And y'all need to go check out Brandon's TikTok, because I have been dying for the last 2 days. He is so funny, y'all.
Oh,
Brandon Johnson.
Yeah.
Brandon Johnson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the Twisted Realm?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And you guys have a TikTok also, right?
Gold.
Ours
too, of course.
Yeah, we all have TikTok, so yeah.
Beth's is good too.
Yeah, we both. Nathan's got he got more of the clips and cinematic video because he's the editor. He has access to those. He posts those all up, and mine's kind of more. I mean, I either steal his stuff and post it again,
He's
or
bougie.
I'll make up some of my own to talk about our current investigation or whatever. But a lot of mine are goofy too. So
Well, the goofy part's what makes TikTok.
yeah,
I
I
don't
still try to
use
keep it
TikTok,
paranormal.
but I used to use TikTok and I found myself scrolling through it all day long and I'd be like, oh my gosh, my laundry is never getting done and everything. So I stopped watching TikTok.
I told my husband that I've slipped into a K-hole again, watching TikTok.
It's like a white rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to just show this really quick. That way people can kind of see what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
Like, that's the network, Paraflixx. I just pulled it up from my
all capital letters.
And then it goes faster right after it. Ghostfinders.
Yeah. And then
So, would you guys happen to know by chance how many shows that are on Paraflixx now, or do you know?
I couldn't
A
tell you.
lot.
I have no
There
idea.
are. It's grown
There's a
really
lot.
fast.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
there's a
I've
lot.
skimmed through quite a bit of them. I would say, golly, well over 100. I would
Yeah.
think 100 shows. Some over that. I don't
There's
know.
actually
It's
a
just,
girl that has a show on there that lives by us. The Kelly girl.
Yeah.
She has a show on there. Kelly's, what is it called? Something Kelly. Her name was in it. And she has blonde hair, blue eyes. She's from near Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Huh.
I can't
Okay.
remember. It's been on there a while.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well
but they
worth
also
the money.
Huh?
Sure. I said it's well
Worth
worth
it.
the subscription.
They have
I've had
horror
a lot
shows
of
on
fun.
there too, I think, and
Mhm.
some podcasts as well. So it's not just all paranormal teams. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like horror shows. He likes horror shows. Obviously, he went to a horror festival this
Yeah.
weekend.
You keep track of it, from when, when everybody came, when it came together to make it with, Natalie and everybody. So I was just curious of how far it's, since it started,
Oh,
how
yeah.
far it's
How much it's grown.
It's huge. It's blowing up. It's doing really, really well.
It
It's
is.
good.
Very much so.
It's probably good for Paraflixx that gas prices went up. Yeah, they can capitalize on that. No, but they can benefit from that in a way. So, hey, Greg, what did you guys do before you guys met up, or like what were you doing before y'all met up to do this?
Like what we were doing before Paraflixx happened?
Yeah, and y'all met like right before Paraflixx, or right after, or like during, or what?
No. Me and Beth, we've known each other for over 12 and a half years. Like we've been investigating. Yeah, we've been investigating for a long time.
This is our third team to be on together.
Yeah. We've got some time in as far as like, knowing each other. Kara was a part of another team for a while, or she did investigations for a while, and I think she quit. I don't know her full story on that. But Scotty and I, we had our first encounters together as kids growing up. Like me and him literally were together, like best friends growing up, experiencing together. But we didn't kind of come together as best friends again until after the show started up. Like that's kind of how we started talking.
Did you just say breast friends?
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say anything. He did. He said
They are best friends sometimes.
Oh, well, I meant best friends. But
breast fins.
benefits.
Breast fins.
that's a love language, bro.
It is. It's true.
Greg has something on Paraflixx also. He has a podcast, so it must be on Paraflixx. Y'all said there was podcasts on there? Yeah, Greg Cause has a Paraflixx podcast. You know who he is?
I don't know,
but I'm going to check him out.
You'll have to check him out.
I will
What's the name of your show, Greg?
Called. Yeah, or tell everybody. I was going to say, I'll tell you because he shared something with me the other day about it. But tell everybody, Greg Cause, what is your handle on Paraflixx so they can look you up when we sign on there?
Yeah.
I know he just sent me something the other day. I think it was the paranormal biker lady that he was on her podcast. Or maybe she was on his. Yeah, I really want to meet her.
Awesome. So, you guys, you said you had. What was that?
It's my clock. It's my grandfather clock in my room.
Okay.
Yeah, it stems from when you were kids, like you were saying. But it's that instills it in you, like you want to learn more, even though it's scary. Was that kind of like the thing, like it those kind of type of things scare you so much you want to know what causes it?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, of course. It's just part of being an investigator. Part of doing what
Yeah.
we do. You want to study as much as you can to kind of figure out like what caused that feeling, what experience creates that type of that trauma.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I
Mhm.
mean? Yeah, I mean, of course it does.
Yeah.
It's like also being a kid, the monster under your bed, but
Yeah.
nobody really thinks about like where's the monster come from and why is he there?
Right.
Everybody's like, don't put your
My
feet up.
first my first paranormal experience was at the age of 11. And I don't know what y'all feel about animal spirits, but my grandfather's dog I saw after he had passed several months before in their hallway. And then after that, at the age of 13, I saw a spirit of a man running out in the middle of the country. I was out hanging out with some friends I shouldn't been, because I was only 13.
Darn teenagers.
Yeah. But we were just sitting there, and we all turned and saw this man. And honestly, the only way I can explain it, it's when you're watching Ghostbusters and the man's running and he stops to check his watch
Oh
on
yeah.
Ghostbusters. That's almost exactly what he looked like, and he was running down a fence line out in the middle of nowhere.
That's
It was
wow.
crazy.
It is crazy.
Somebody else said something last week that was like somebody that was running somewhere that was a man and they were doing something, but I don't know what they were doing. I don't think they were just doing like that or something like a ghost or whatever. Have you guys ever seen like a full body apparition that looks not like a ghost but like a human, and you think it's a human but it's actually not?
I saw my mom, but she
yeah.
had like her hair braided like in pigtails. My mom would not do that, and then she walked right through the wall. It was full body. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen.
It's crazy.
Tell them
I was
more about that
asking.
story. That's a cool story. Is it?
Oh, the one where me and my sister saw her again?
Yeah, where you kept
Okay,
seeing your
so
mom.
yeah, we lived in this house that really I lived there my whole life. We had barely had any actual experiences there, but besides that time watching her walk through that room, my sister and I woke up one night and that same thing had walked through the door and walked underneath the bunk bed because
Oh my
it was like a
gosh.
little, cubby under there. She never looked up, never looked around. She just walked straight under. And then at that point, I'm starting to get interested in this kind of thing anyway. And I don't remember what came out first. It's like ghosts. I think it was taps. And somebody had mentioned, oh, a skinwalker. It looks like your family members. And I was like, oh gosh, like, I started praying over the house. Like, that's not good. That's, scared. I was so freaked out after that, but it got me really interested, and what else is out there. And, but it was
How
pretty
old were you when
crazy.
that happened? How long ago was it?
So when I saw her, I would say probably about like early teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe 12, 13. I know I was listening to Spice Girls, so it was around that
That was
time.
what did it.
Yeah.
Hallucinogenic subliminal
Hey, that makes
messages.
sense because like Baby Spice, she always had pigtails.
Oh my god. What was your first actual paranormal experience, Nathan, that you ever had?
Man, I wish Scotty was here for this. Is that because?
Mhm.
Yeah, is he involved?
Oh yeah, like heavily involved.
Yeah.
Dang it.
You were playing the Ouija board together in a graveyard.
No. He will not. This guy will not touch no Ouija board ever.
No, I will not touch it.
Have you before though?
No, I have not.
No, have you not? Okay, you're smart because I've had
Yeah,
some crazy stuff happen due to Ouija boards, and that's why I take when people are so scared of them. I'm like, trust me, there's a good reason to be scared of them. Just crazy stuff, yeah.
Just tell it.
I'll give you like a little like snippet of it because I want him to be able to tell that story too eventually.
Mm-hmm.
What it all boils down to is me and him saw the same exact shadow figure.
Mhm.
Unfortunately for Scotty, and a little bit more frightening for him because it followed him home.
Oh.
He had after effects. For me, it intrigued me and it opened my door for where I'm at today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the house was completely a demonic infestation.
Yeah.
But I'm going to leave it at that for right now.
Did y'all go
Oh,
back
you
to that
can't do
place?
that.
Did y'all revisit that place ever?
We did.
Yeah.
We actually did. When we first filmed the show, Scotty was actually my first episode I ever made. It was like a 15-minute episode.
Hey,
And
Brandon.
thing is, my wife's best friend lives there now.
Oh, wow.
And they allowed us to
Oh,
go
wow.
and tell that story all over again. We didn't investigate, but we got to tell it from our point of view. And, you know, he walked, you know, everyone through what he saw and where he saw it come from.
What a cliffhanger. They're like, man, I'm
You're
cursing
telling
at
me
you.
I still don't know the rest of that story. He keeps doing that.
Well, you need to message your friend and tell him to come on here. Yeah,
Somebody
you
call
could.
me and tell me the story.
Hey, let me call. Let me see if I can get him on real quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't, I'm fixing to message him and I don't even know him, but I'm going to say, hey, can you get on the show? You'd be like, who is this lady? Who does she think she is?
What a cliffhanger.
It's a cool story. I mean, creepy as shit, excuse me, but
yeah,
it's cool.
It is. You know, shadow people like that are very interesting. You know, like the myth of the Hat Man. Everybody reporting seeing the Hat Man everywhere, you know?
Yeah, I looked that up today because someone told me they
The
saw someone in a yellow
Hat Man.
coat.
That is such a big deal for me, the Hat Man.
Uh-huh.
I've seen that guy forever.
Have you?
You've seen that guy forever?
I want to do an episode on that so bad.
Let's do it.
Find
Can we?
one. Ask somebody that
Find the
has one.
story that connects
Me,
it.
I have the story. I know a lot of
Find the
people. We got
location.
this.
Investigate
We
the story
got it.
from it.
She's
Clarendon,
like, we got
Texas.
this.
We need
We got it.
location. That's
But
what we need.
the location's in your brain. How do you
No,
do that?
there's no story. We can't create a storyline from that.
In your
My head is haunted.
We can't do that.
That's what I would want to find the story because I just like to interview. So I would be like, can I do the
Honestly,
interview?
I would get
Can I
bored of an interview. Like, I have to have a storyline, people.
Don't worry,
Well,
we
it
got
has
it.
to be the person that actually had it happen to them. You know what
I've
I
seen
mean?
him in person in Clarendon,
Yeah.
Texas at Regents Hall at Clarendon College. I saw him there. Don't worry, we got it. I don't know if we can get on there, but close enough.
I've only seen him once, and we did an investigation with Buried Secrets, and it was a young couple, and then they had a baby that was like 2 or 3, and we did investigation, and that's what the dad would tell us over and over, is that he would see the shadow man with the hat on in his child's room, in the baby's room. And one of the investigators on that investigation at the time, I'll shut up.
Hey, he's coming on. Is that him?
But
Yo, what are you doing? Hop on real quick, bro. Because I'm telling your story until you're on here.
Tell him there are like 10 people waiting for his story. That's only on this network. That's only on one network. There's like 10 people sitting here waiting.
Cliffhanger, dude. Just get your ass on here. Hurry up.
he's grounded.
Don't drop your
They're
groceries.
breast
Don't drop them.
friends.
No, they're breast fins.
Yeah, tell your
Oh, yeah,
breast
breast
fan to
fin.
get on here.
It's like some kind of fin that comes out right there on a fish.
Breast fins.
I'll get that on audio.
That would be scary.
It's like a catfish.
I
That's
need to
where
get
their
these
fins are.
removed.
Yeah, but the people describe seeing the same kind of sort of hat figure around the world, and it kind of the same description. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you know, is he everywhere at the same time? Is he only popping in certain spots? What's going on? You know,
I'd
You know,
like to
and
think
what
of
is
him as a
his
gatekeeper.
purpose? You know,
right?
like, why does he keep showing up around the world? I mean, it's like, you know, you got Bigfoot, and he's seen all over the place, or, you know, they are seen all over the place. And so is this guy. So what's your story? What's his story? You know, I mean, is he demonic? Does he attach to certain locations for a reason, or do you know what I mean? Like, what is the story? What's your story, bro?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And how do you explain that he comes to
Yeah.
you? Like, a lot of people have seen him in dreams, so it's hard to say,
Mhm.
oh, it's
Mhm.
paranormal, but it
I've
is,
heard
you
about a
know,
lot of
like,
dreams. Yeah, it is because of so many people having that. It's got to be connected
yeah,
in some kind of way. So there has to be something
right.
common about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
hmm
And
So that's what
actually,
I'd like to do. It if we could get people that have had that experience, like, what
Yeah.
happened between you and this person or thing, and then try to compile these to
mhm.
see if there's a common denominator.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
think you got something going there, Kara. I think
And
I
a lot of
do.
that's going to
people
be
would
another
want to
episode.
watch it. A lot of people would want to
Yeah.
watch it. And I've heard of
Yeah.
other things like I don't even know, but my son even talks about Siren Head all the time.
Mhm. Siren. Yeah.
Like just things that are similar to that. And then recently someone told me that they keep seeing and dreaming about a man in a yellow suit.
Huh.
Yeah, like the Hat Man, but it's a yellow suit and they're creepy and they're like basically telling this person that they're going to die soon. And I was like, wow, I want to
I
look
don't want
into
to see that guy.
that. No, probably not.
Somebody asked earlier, and I don't think we got to answer it. Just made me think of it. If we like to get EVPs more than
Adam.
video. I can't remember who that was.
I think it was Adam. Was it this one?
Yes. I was just thinking about that. I honestly, for myself, I feel like you get EVPs more often than you do get visual evidence. I think it's honestly pretty rare you do get visual evidence.
Oh yeah.
So
If you
I would have to
capture
say
visual
EVPs.
evidence, congratulations. I mean, you got something special there.
Yeah, I just think that takes some way more energy to produce something visual. I think
Yes, and you have to literally walk around recording everything to get something.
Right.
Like visually recording everything to get something.
But 95% of that footage, you more than likely can debunk it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, you really can.
Well, you have to, because if you don't, everyone that looks at it's going to shred it to pieces. If you don't.
Right. Yeah.
We went through that before.
And that's hard to swallow that because you know yourself that it's you were there, what happened and what didn't happen, regardless of what anybody else is saying. So it's hard not to listen to those people, even though, because you're like, yeah, tell yourself, I was there, I know what happened. If they don't believe me, that's fine. But it's still kind of hard to get back in there and ignore those things. Nathan's kind of just like, man, you just got to brush that off. Just scroll to the next.
Oh yeah,
because there's always going to be a critic.
Not everyone's
something that you don't have. Huh?
So not everyone's gonna like what we do. That's just a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and not everyone wants to do the whole meat and potatoes. They just want to go along for the ride. Yeah.
Yeah, back had to get.
Other people, we're waiting. We're waiting on your friend to call us back. Everyone's like, give up the cliffhanger. We're waiting. What kind of hat does the hat
My
man
thing
have?
fell.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I've heard of him wearing a fedora. So, but there's also a guy that wears like a Quaker style hat. I don't know if it's just like a translation type of like what people see, or if there's two different hatted men.
Yeah.
But mine, I've seen the fedora and I've seen the Quaker style looking hat. Honestly, the guy in the Quaker hat was way scarier to me.
Yeah, and there's like a top hat type of one, like I think
in
the Controverse, like they've introduced. What do they call him, Jason? You're the Conjure nut.
I hope nobody saw all that.
You talking about the Crooked Man?
What's it called? Crooked Man. Yeah. Okay.
He's not a hat man, but yeah, it's they do wear that kind of hat.
What was he called?
The Crooked Man. And their stories, he's called the Crooked Man. So you could cross-reference all those together and like see if it's the same thing or the same person. Like the same guy. Hey, Tim Comer. How's it going? Okay. Sorry, I'm like way backed up. I didn't see a lot of these comments. I was too busy. I was too busy watching the tapestry get fixed. No,
I know, and it's screwed. So this is what y'all get to look at the rest of the time. I tried.
I got a big hole in my wall. You're good.
I rarely share visual evidence outside the client and the team for that reason. I guess because it gets shredded. We've done that before, and someone would say that's not really what you're saying it is, and we'll go back the next day. I went back the next day And I went to the same place and I recorded with the video camera. And I said, do you see anything here? You can tell this is the same location. There's nothing there. And then I put the photo and I was like, see the photo? Same exact location. There's nothing there. I'm standing here now. I am live. And there was something here last night. And then the photo before and the photo after, there's nothing. So I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
there it
always
was.
good to snap those photos like a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Get a couple of them in there. Yeah.
Yeah, like Slender Man, but we know Slender Man is made up.
I know he was busy a few minutes ago. He just walked in his door, so I don't.
Yeah, if he doesn't come, then we'll just have to be continued.
Yeah.
Everyone message Scotty Dabbs to get the rest of the story.
Don't do that because I'll get a dude. I had like 800 people just blah.
Or you can comment on here and tag him. No,
Right.
then you'll get all those tags and he'll be like, "Oh my god, what are all these notifications for?"
Right.
Maybe he needs to do a private interview myself, or you two can just tell the story.
What needs to happen?
Do you believe that spirits in a funeral home can change and corrupt a boy of 8 years old? Does he go into the funeral home?
Experience.
Yeah. Has he already been corrupted? Are you taking him and you're wondering if it's okay?
Does he stay there often? How often is he in this funeral home or at this funeral home? Like, how much time is being spent there? Because just the death alone and the bodies alone could corrupt the child, I feel like. If he sees the dead bodies all the time, that could really probably... It depends on his way that he receives that, I guess. That's what I would think.
They lived in one?
What?
She said they lived in one.
Oh, wow. Okay. There's your next story. There you go. They lived in a funeral home, yeah. Do you guys have some already future places set up to do a lot more shooting and stuff? Do you have some leads and stuff on? Yeah. Do y'all have any like tiny like Easter eggs you can give away about them without giving away the location or anything?
I'm not going to give away the location.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give away the client's name either. I want that to be revealed when it comes out.
Yeah.
We did establish a very insane story. I've followed this person for a number of years. She's been on Travel Channel 100 times. And I've been in very close contact with her about her story. I have never seen evidence, visual evidence, like she has.
Wow.
And Scotty just not texted back. He's like, I'm coming in now.
He's
All
a brat. He
But-
gets to go in the next creepy, crawly, dark, tiny spot.
Oh, he does?
In
That would
the
be
EVP
fun.
session.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, we've got some places in mind that are booked. But I'm not gonna give those away right now. I'm gonna let you guys just kind of be in suspense with that one.
Oh, leave us another cliffhanger.
Yep.
I'm waiting for him to come in here. They did say that funeral home was turned into 2 different houses, like 2 homes, and her brother, it was her brother.
I think it's possible. If you're in there, if he was in there day in, day out like that at a young age, I can see how it could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as far as like spirits go, if that's what they're talking about, or I don't know if it's just the experience, but I think that, those are like everywhere. So to me, it'd be like just kind of an environmental thing, maybe. Other than that.
Yeah.
So this is
probably investigate there. Hello. Go ahead. Sorry.
So,
This is your... So we heard a part of his story that we could not get the rest of it out of him for nothing. And he said, only if you joined, then we could actually hear the rest of it. So the comments from everyone were, please get him on here. We need to talk to him. And I told everybody to private message you, but then Nathan said not to do that. About some story that you guys experienced together.
It's the same. Mine's a little bit different. Just because like at the tail end of it, I saw a little more than everybody else did. I don't know what Nathan's told everybody though. You know where to start.
I'll have to tell you.
I just said that we kind of experienced the same thing. We saw the same shadow figure.
Well, I know
Yeah.
Nathan's shadow figure came after mine by like a few months or so. But anyway, the way the whole story goes is we were all young. We were 15, 16, 17 years. You know, we were teenagers, whatever. And we had really gotten into the show Ghost Adventures, or not Ghost Adventures, my bad, Ghost Hunters on A&E. I watch Ghost Adventures like it's brand new every day. So that's where the mix up came from. But now we were all just, you know, young and looking for a thrill, and we kind of decided, you know, that ghost hunting was something that we'd give a go for a scare. And one of our buddies was like, "Hey, my house is haunted. I know it's haunted. I experience stuff every day." And we were all like, "Nah, you're kind of full of it, man." You know, he was known as a guy who liked to joke around. But anyway, he finally convinced us to get over to his house. And you know, LaForest, Texas is maybe a town of 300 people. It's real small, real tiny. And no one else was at his house. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there. His dad worked in a town 15 minutes away, and his little brother was staying in that same town with their mom. So there wasn't anyone that was in that house except for the five of us. And we go into it. We walk into the master bedroom, and like all that was in there, there was a bed that was like kind of right in the middle of the room. And then to the next of it, there was a tall, skinny dresser. And then at the foot of it, in the front of the foot of it, there was a smaller dresser that had like a TV on it. And we're sitting in there. We turn the lights off. We're going through, you know, the simple, basic questions of, you know, is there anyone in this house with us? Who's here? You know, can you give us your name? Just your basic questions when you're out doing a paranormal investigation or whatever. And we start getting like all these knocks coming from underneath of the bed spring or box
Oh,
spring.
wow.
And we're sitting there and we're kind of like, at first we were all a little skeptical about it. We're like, is it our buddy? Does he just have his, because he was sitting on the end of the bed. We were like, is it our buddy? Is he just sitting there, you know, kind of tapping on the bottom of the bed, making us think things? So we continued to ask more questions. We were doing the whole knock once for yes, twice for no, just getting simple answers coming back and forth from it. And I remember at one point, a different buddy of ours that was with us had asked how many spirits are in the room with us. And we would get, you know, it was silent for a little bit, and then we got a knock, and then more silence. And then we got another knock, and then like the knocks just kept getting faster and faster and faster until it almost sounded like it was a AR-15 basically that was just going off. And then the same guy who asked the question yelled stopped, and it went dead silent. And at that point, us being teenagers, we were all kind of just freaking out a little bit. We were like, oh crap, that was pretty intense. That was pretty wild. And then Nathan, you hear him go, did somebody throw something at me? And we were all laying on this mattress, so we all would have felt if one of us would have moved over to grab whatever it was that Nathan had felt thrown, you know. And he's like, no, something really hit my leg after we assured him that nobody threw anything. And we get up, we turn the lights on, and that tall dresser that was on the, I want to say left side of the bed, there was a cowboy hat that was sitting on top of it. And that cowboy hat had been thrown across the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that right there really, really pushed us out of the door. Like, that's whenever we decided, hey, like, we need to get the hell out of here. But I was still being skeptical. I was like, no, this could be our friend just messing with us. Like, he loves to pull jokes. So I went back into the room and I told the spirits, I was like, hey, look, we're going to leave for 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to leave that cowboy hat right there on the floor. I know there's going to be nobody else in this house. When we come back, I want to see that cowboy hat back on the dresser, exactly where you threw it from.
Mm-hmm.
We leave, we drive around the forest for 5-10 minutes. We all pile into a little bitty black, like 1990 S10 two-seater pickup truck, and there's 5 of us. We're just hauling ass through this little town. There's this one area where it kind of like goes uphill real quick. We were jumping Main Street in this, we were young and dumb. So about 10 minutes roll past, we go back to the house. I remember like, hey, I want to go back to your house. I need to check something. So we all go back. We go back in there, and when we walk in that room, sure enough, that cowboy hat's sitting back on top of that dresser.
Mm.
And I mean, just no one's there. And it's at this point, this is where fear really struck the 5 of us. And we're all like, no, we're leaving. We ain't coming back. I get emotional. It was my first time to ever experience anything like that. So I'm like, I'm freaking out. I'm crying in this dude's hallway. And then I can just feel something like staring at me, So I turn and I look up his staircase and I see this 7-foot tall black shadow figure with gleaming red eyes just staring down at me. And I mean, I bolt. I'm gone.
Yeah, I would too.
Do what?
I would too.
Oh yeah.
It was like, months following that, Scotty had this attachment going with him, but it was at the same time, I go back to that house, playing some video games with some friends, same group of friends, and we all smelled this dumpster, juicy, like, stench. Like someone hadn't taken the trash out outside like 4 months, kind of a smell. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It was coming from the kitchen area. And when the smell took place, all the hairs on our neck just like stood up. And we knew we were in danger. Like that's what it was like. And so we got up, we looked in the kitchen. It was pitch black. There was light coming from the inside that cast the silhouette of this figure. It looked beast like that's what it was like. And we could see the red eyes. Like at least I could see the red eyes. But they're like, let's go look at it. So as we get closer to this figure, the harsher that smell is getting. And I'm the only one that's like brave enough to actually walk in the kitchen.
Or dumb enough. No, I'm just kidding.
I literally ran in that kitchen, flipped that light on, and fell to the floor and jumped back. That figure was gone. That smell was gone. That was the last time I'd ever been in that house after that.
Wow.
So that's kind of where that's kind of the story of our first encounters.
And now we know what that smell might have been, since now you're you worked longer into paranormal investigating. What was that smell, do you think?
I don't know.
Do you think, would you describe it as a sulfur smell now?
Oh, it was way worse than sulfur. I don't even know how to explain it. It was like rotting flesh on top of like rotting eggs, like death times 1,000. It was the most.
I've smelled a smell like that before, and I don't know what it was either. And it smelled like.
I can't explain it. It was the most.
A skunk with trash with
smell I've ever encountered in my entire life.
Like vomit in your mouth when you smell it, kind of smell.
Oh yeah.
Twice as bad as that. Like it's.
See, that just makes me wonder if it was something actually. I mean, I hate to say it, but actually something demonic. I mean,
it was 100%.
Yeah.
This is what I was thinking. Actually, what he said, like death, like a rotting carcass, like death.
Yeah, like it was straight up death. Like there's no way.
Ugh.
Yeah, because it took me 3 months to get rid of the attachment I had from that thing. And I had to go and get a rosary blessed by the local Catholic priest. And now it kind of makes me wonder if I didn't, after I did that, if I didn't send it back to that house, because the time makes sense. About 3 months after is when I got rid of it, and then that's the same time that Nathan saw it.
Sure does.
So, which I just like pieced that together.
Yeah.
Right. So after you saw the initial the guy looking down you from the stairs, I mean, did you see was it the same? Did you see him again, like the same one?
I never really got to see like a visual as clear as I did that night. But I mean, every night I wasn't able to sleep because if I would sleep, I could just feel something hovering over me, and like I skated a lot back then. That was kind of how me and Nathan met, was through skateboarding. And during the summer months, sun up, sun down, I was out of the house. I was skating. I wouldn't come home till maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock, whenever the sun would go down, and I couldn't walk past an alleyway without feeling like it was going to jump out at me, which alleyways are kind of naturally creepy, but the town I grew up in, Pampa, Texas, I mean, it's maybe 15,000 people. I pretty much knew everybody that was there. I wasn't worried about the town.
Right.
I just constantly felt like I was followed. The image of what he looked like that night still to this day hasn't left my memories.
Did you have problems sleeping at night a lot?
Yeah, for like the first 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I'm gonna let Beth and Scotty finish this out. I've got to jump off.
Okay.
So
it's almost over in like 5 minutes anyway. So thank you for coming on.
Definitely, y'all be good.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, Brat.
Peace.
Later.
Bye. Yeah, we don't have much longer left. So whatever you were saying, I forgot what you were saying.
No, I was just talking about how I kind of, I never really thought too much about what happened after that night, other than, I just felt like I was followed and attached for 3 months. But I can't really place if it was necessarily that entity that kept me from sleeping, or if it was the countless amounts of Monster energy I would drink.
Or the fear, maybe, like from seeing it.
Or the gummy bears. No.
Nah. Edibles weren't that big back in that time.
I'm teasing. No, I wasn't trying to talk about edibles.
She meant like sugar candy, like Skittles and Starburst.
That's just one of the things I take on investigations. I don't know why. And Brandon Johnson's the same way. For some reason, gummy bears or something gummy, like gummy worms. I don't know. It's almost an investigation must.
Annette said, did you feel the presence of the thing in the daytime?
No, I felt fine in the daytime. It was only when the sun went down I would feel just this like overwhelming sense of, I wouldn't say like danger. I never felt like I was in danger, but I definitely felt like it was just lurking. You know what I mean? It was just always there.
Right. I don't know, man. That'd be weird to have burned in your mind from then till now.
The smell would be the worst part, I think.
See, I never smelt the smell that they did, which I don't know if it was just all the events that transpired and, just seeing what I'd seen and not really paying attention to much else. But
so
that's weird.
Do you guys want to go ahead and like tell what do you want people following your TikToks, like your personal ones? Do you want people to follow those or whatever?
My personal TikTok's not for paranormal, but we do have the team. I run our My Paranormal Experience Instagram page. So we do have one of those. TikToks. We do our TikToks, mine and Nathan's, and we just got onto the Twitter.
Yay, you're moving up there, Elon Musk style.
Yeah. So, y'all can catch us on any of those, and we got a Facebook page as well. But Nathan keeps his Instagram up with paranormal wise pretty well. So if you can check his Instagram out.
Is it under his name?
I think it's Nathan Withers 22.
Yeah.
I think that's Instagram and TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
For him, okay. And did you want to share yours, or do you put paranormal stuff on yours?
I do seldomly.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and share it. It's Belial 666 infected. You spell it.
You
Blau.
gotta explain it. What is that? Sorry, go ahead.
I got the name from. I play this video game called Diablo, and
Mhm.
Okay.
I've heard of it.
yeah, you're basically like the chosen one or whatever, and you go through like different levels of the hells and demons. And one of the demons in the game, his name was Belial, and then you fight these enemies. They're called infected. So it
Yeah, the infected. Yeah.
It
just
works.
said, "Hey, that's it. That's
Is
your
it Blyle like Lyle, but with a B, like BLYLE?
yeah." It's BELIAL 3 6s. Yeah, great. I know. And
You're
then
bad boy.
infected is INFECTD. You pretty much spell the word, you just leave the E out.
Okay. That's all good. I just thought like people might want to connect with y'all. And like they were earlier, there were people coming on saying locations that y'all could go to. Like Annette gave her email because she has family that
Yes.
grew up living in a separated like funeral parlor that was separated and turned into houses. Maybe you guys could go there. And then
Yeah, I
George.
screenshot it when she posted. I did a little screenshot,
Okay.
so we'll contact her.
And George Shoplin. Did he
Yes.
say STD?
Yeah.
What? I
Yeah.
didn't. I missed that part.
STDs.
I missed that part. So, thank you guys for coming on, and I want to plug y'all's link. Can one of y'all send me the link to the actual?
Yes.
I thought he said that y'all might have a personal link that's going to take them to you guys specifically.
Right. Yes.
Through you guys.
I'll tell Nathan, make sure he gets it to you.
Okay. Yeah. Plug that one for me if you don't care, and I'll put it on this comment so everyone that watches
Okay.
it can see it at the end. If that's
Sounds
awesome with
good.
you guys. Yeah. And thank you for joining.
Sure.
We have 2 more minutes. So like, do you want to share any other personal experience that you have, Scotty, or any other personal like thing that brought you to be into paranormal in the beginning, like when you were younger, other than that story?
Really, I mean, after that whole night happened, I kind of tried to block it out this time. But my mom has always been a real big believer in it, and she would always watch, ghost shows all the time. And then I ended up getting really into ghost adventures. Like I said, when I first came on, like I watched that show like it came out yesterday. It's just always on repeat. But I ended up just like being really drawn to the paranormal and reaching out to Nathan and saying, "Hey man, you got to get me in on an investigation. Like I have to be at one." It took some convincing. It took a lot of prying to finally get him to agree to take me along with his old team. I did a couple of investigations with them, and then he started My Paranormal Experience, and I've been a full-time member of that since.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and
thank you.
Thank you for having me
and
for the last
rewatch
30 minutes.
You're welcome. If you ever want to watch the rest of it, you can just go do the replay. Just go on one of the network pages on Facebook and watch the whole thing. But thank you guys. And if he sends me that link, I'll put it in the comments, like I was saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Miss Beth. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you again,
guys, everybody, for
Thanks.
watching.
Peace out.
Bye.